smokers, guys, Roku stock is getting absolutely destroyed after hours. They just reported numbers here and it doesn't look too good. So Roku stock after hours is down 22%. Okay, we're gonna get into the numbers and all that. Also, at the end of the video, I wanna share some more bad news came out about Snapchat. I wanna share some of that with you guys. So if you guys remember right, about 6 months ago, 7 months ago or so, I did a video on the Roku IPO. A lot of people wanted me to talk about that and whatnot. And I compared it to GoPro and Fitbit. I said, you know, this has especially another Fitbit written all over it. Yeah, maybe the stock can go up in the short term, but I do not see a long-term future for this company, okay? Which we'll get into. And, you know, I caught some flack for it and whatnot, and people were like, you were wrong. And I was like, no, I was exactly right. What happened with GoPro and Fitbit? They went up initially, right? Roku here, it's done very well as far as the stock performance in the short term. But look at, what did Fitbit do? It did the same exact thing when they IPO'd. What did GoPro do? The same exact thing. Both those stocks, when they first IPO'd, their stocks went up for the first few months. It all looked grand, okay? It all looked good. And then it went so bad, okay? So this may be the start of things. So Roku shares plunged more than 20% after hours. Revenue for the first quarter, they're saying, is going to be between 120 million to 130 million. That's versus analysts were expecting almost 132 million. So they're already coming underneath what analysts are expecting, okay? And this is mainly a hardware company. It has Fitbit written all over it, guys. They did beat on the revenue and they beat on the EPS in total. So they did beat on last quarter's numbers. It's next quarter and moving forward that analysts are very worried about. Obviously, this company is not even profitable. They don't even make money currently. They have no forward P on this company because they're not expected to make money overall over the course of next year. At least in GoPro and Fitbit's instance, at least with those stocks, they were actually profitable companies when they went public. It was about a year, 2 years later that they became unprofitable and their businesses started going downhill, right? But this reminds me so much of Fitbit, okay? Why? Because look at the competitors they got to compete against. Roku has to compete against Apple. Are you kidding me? You got to compete against Apple directly? You got to compete directly against Google. You got to compete directly against Amazon. Oh my goodness, good luck for you. Good luck for you. When you got to compete directly against Apple, Google, and Amazon, good luck in your business, okay? And it reminds me exactly of Fitbit. Who did Fitbit all of a sudden start having to compete with? Apple, okay? Apple launched the Apple Watch, and that kind of, you know, started to take over the market. Samsung also launched all their Gear products, which also took over the market. I mean, when you're competing with Apple, it's not a good thing, especially when it's Apple and some other big competitor like a Samsung, a Google, or an Amazon, or someone like that, guys. So when I look at this stock, it literally reminds me exactly of Fitbit, a hardware company that's trying to pitch, you know, we got something else going over here, the same way Fitbit was, right? And you got major competitors. That's a really tough thing, guys. That's a really tough thing when you're the underdog there. It's one thing to be the, you know, a David and Goliath situation where you're the David and you're competing against one Goliath. It's another when you got 3 or 4 Goliaths you're competing with. That's a whole different ball game there, guys. So Roku, you know, it's pretty much going exactly how I thought it would go. It's following the GoPro and Fitbit pattern. We'll see where that company goes over the long term, but as far as when I look at it, I don't see a good future for that company over the long term. I don't. Next one up here, guys, let's talk about the Snapchat situation, okay? So Kylie Jenner, which is probably the biggest influencer maybe in the world, but certainly probably on Snapchat, she just tweeted out some more bad news. Basically, you know, what all of us have been saying for the longest time now is that, you know, views are going down on the snaps when we post as far as us creators and whatnot. She says, but now it's so sad that nobody opens their Snapchat anymore. She tweeted out this. So does anyone else not open Snapchat anymore, or is it just me? Oh, this is so sad. Still love you though, Snap, my first love. This is just more bad news, and you know, she's got over 104 million followers on Instagram, obviously one of the most important people for the younger demographic for all of social media, okay? She's right up there with Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber and pretty much the biggest names in the world, okay? And she's one of the biggest creators on Snapchat. And she's voicing this frustration, and she does it in her like way nicer way than a lot of us other people put it, right? Marcus Brownlee, for those of you guys who do not know, he's pretty much the most influential tech YouTuber out there and one of the most influential in all of social media. He did a Dear Snapchat video about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, voicing his frustration. Obviously, I voiced my frustration on this. And Instagram has now become my go-to. If I'm out, I'm doing something, or if I want to talk about a stock real quick or something like that, I'm posting on Instagram stories now and not Snapchat, because the Snapchats just aren't getting the views they were literally a week and a half ago to 2 weeks ago, because what happened is they changed up the whole way they formatted things and whatnot, and that has made the views go down a lot for every single creator out there. It's not like it's exclusive to 1 or 2 people. It's every single person across the board. I've spoken to so many YouTubers who also are on Snapchat. They see the same exact thing. When you start to lose the creators, you lose a massive portion of what your app actually is, because that's a huge entertainment. People come on there to check, what their favorite creators are doing and things like that. When those people aren't posting, guess what? That makes people even want to come on less and less and less. This is all bad news for Snapchat, and they've got a chance to save it. They could just go back to the old version, but the CEO somehow thinks like he knows better than everyone else knows in this space. And it's like everyone, the biggest creators, the smallest, the app's down to 1.7 or 1.8 stars in the App Store now. It's trash. Everybody thinks it's trash. Maybe Snapchat investors don't think it's trash. Everybody else thinks it's trash now. Snapchat CEO, like, wake up, like they're trying to tell you, man. They're trying to tell you. Every one of us is trying to tell you, like, switch it back to the old ways, and you still have a chance. You can't wait for this to get too long down the road where people even forget about the app and things like that. So we're gonna see what happens there. But anyways, Roku's going exactly the way I thought it would go. Going up right off the bat, and now it looks like it could be going down over the long term. Do you guys see a vision for Roku? Like, seriously, do you see a vision for the long term for Roku, competing against Apple, Google, and Amazon directly? I don't see a future for them. And then what's your guys feeling on the Snapchat situation? Like, it looks like it's just getting worse and worse as the days go on. But let me know what you guys think about all of this. Anyways, thank you for watching as always, guys, and have a great day.